Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to my June mid-month wrap-up where I will be discussing the 9 books that I read from the 1st to the 15th of June. I have fully decided that my reading has slowed way down and I am okay with that. It's hard because I was like, my old job, I was reading like a book a day and now it takes me 4 or 5 days to get through any book, even an audiobook, but that's okay and we're gonna go. But yeah, so if you are new here, I go through the order of how I completed the books and I tell you about them. So yeah, I might have started a book on the 1st and finished it on the 15th. So it'll be the last book that I talk about, but which is not the case, but that is just what I'm saying. So the first book that I finished in the month of June was Where We Belong by Muñoz. This is Killian and Killian? Yeah. Killian and Laura. And this is the second book in like the Stone Riders MC series. So Laura is the heroine from book 1's best friend, and Killian is the new president. He was the vice president. Kind of like, well, he's kind of the heroine from book 1's like older brother, but not really. Not actually older brother, but he kind of is treated like he is one. But yeah, I didn't like it quite as much as the first one. Like I gave the first one like 4.5 stars, and this one I like 3.5 stars, but I still enjoyed it and definitely can't wait to continue because it set up the next book. But it's Just Like to Love, Tattoo for You, which as you know is like my favorite micro trope, but yeah. It was good. Then I read Forbidden Hearts by Corinne. This was on my TBR for the letter F for TBR Uno. And this is Asher and Phoebe, and it is Single Dad Nanny. And Phoebe and Asher don't necessarily like each other because years ago when Phoebe was young, she like 18, she babysat for Asher, and his daughter ended up cutting her own hair and like almost scalped herself, cut her own hair. Like she cut it so close and he just thinks that Phoebe's reckless, but he really needs someone who speaks ASL to help with his daughter because his daughter cannot hear at all. And so he needs someone that speaks ASL to help with his daughter while his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, I guess it's ex-girlfriend, they were never married, while his ex-girlfriend is away and he will be having his daughter full time. So he needs someone that speaks ASL, and the nanny that was originally supposed to do it backed out like last minute. And so his boss, and he was like about to take time off of work, and his boss was like, no, but my daughter is fluent in ASL. She's getting her master's. Like, why don't you hire her for the summer? So he reluctantly does, and yeah, it was really good. Phoebe has a secret that she's keeping, and something happens with that, and it was very interesting. It was not a twist I saw coming, but yeah, I just really enjoy it. And I give it 5 stars. Then I finished Latte, Darling by S.J. Tilly. I read this for my special edition vlog. I'll have the links up there. I gave this 4 stars. It was fun. Maddie and Axel Insta-Lust, age gap, and a fun meet cute. Maddie's supposed to be going on a date, and instead of her date being there, it is his dad, because his dad is there basically to tell her that she's going to be stood up without, like, not purposefully, but something happened and his son's not going to make the date. And Axel immediately falls for her. So yeah, definitely, it was fun. It was a good time. Over the top, but a good time. Then there's Crossroads by Devney Perry. This is her new series. This follows West in India. It is Second Chance. Oh, It's Always Been You. Childhood, like, friends to lovers, small town. India has moved officially to, she renames the ranch Haven River Ranch, but it was originally called like Crazy Cattle Ranch or something. So she has moved there and has actually bought it out from under his dad. And they had a fling when they were young, but nothing ever came of it. They both dated other people, had other things happen, and yeah, now it's years later, and it's been like 4 years since we've seen each other, and she's back and is like, I own this property now. And there's a reason she owns the property. And yeah, it was really good. I cried, I laughed, I swooned, I had a great time with it. I actually read it all in one day, which is rare for me. Like I said, nowadays, like it's just rare for me to be able to read a book in one day. And this was one I could not put down. I think I even worked that day, and I just like stayed up reading it because I wanted to finish it so badly. Then I finished The Problem with Players by Brittainy Cherry. This is Avery and Nathan. Again, another second chance. I love second chance. This one's baseball. Love it. Black love. Forced proximity. So Avery is the assistant football coach or assistant baseball coach for the high school team. She loves baseball. She's good at her job. And she's thinking with the head coach leaving, she's going to be getting the head coaching job. But in walks Nathan, who's a former football or baseball star, played, why do I keep saying football? I guess because I'm reading a football romance right now. But he's a former baseball star and played for the high school, and the high school's like, well, we'll bring him in, make him the head coach, and he refuses to be the head coach because he wants Avery to have that position, and it is so fun. Again, I cried because Brittainy Cherry doesn't know how to write a book that doesn't make you cry. I think she just, wants to rip your heart out, but then put it back together. So yeah, I had a good time with it. I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Then I read Latte and Lark by Brynne Weaver. I gave this one 4 stars. I didn't love it as much as I loved Butcher and Blackbird, and it's really hard to read them and not compare them. But after talking with some people in my in-person book club, it made me appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah, this follows Lark and Lachlan, and if you read Butcher and Blackbird, you know what happens at the end. And that there is someone going after Lark and Lachlan. Lark is Sloane's best friend. Lachlan is Rowan's older brother. He is a contract killer because his boss kind of took him under his wing, and he can't get out of this job. And he also now has a target on his back from Lark's family, and they decide to get married to protect Lachlan. And yeah, it wasn't as funny as the first one, which I think was kind of part of the problem, but I still enjoyed it. I gave 4 stars, and I cannot wait for the final book. I am nervous for that one because of what happened at the end of this one. Then I finished A Deal with the Devil, another one that I have on my new special edition vlog. I loved this. I gave it 4.5 stars. I just felt like the end was a little dragged out. The complication, the third act conflict was a little much, but I enjoyed this a lot. And this is Tully and Hayes. It is a boss employee. Tully's best friend works for Hayes as his assistant, and he ends up getting him and his partner are going to be adopting a baby from another country, so they need to go. And so he needs someone to be Hayes' assistant, so he asks Tully to do it, and things go from there between Hayes and Tully, and yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Then I read Boarded Hearts by Ruth Stilling. This is a hockey romance, slight age gap, 5 years, I think. Older woman, younger man, which I enjoy. I don't read a ton, and I do like to read more. Single mom, hockey. This follows John and Felicity. And Felicity is a single mom of 2 older kids. She got married right out of university, and her husband was quite manipulative and borderline abusive towards her, just based off of the way they were. And he basically told her this is how it's going to be, and didn't let her play an equal part. And so they moved to the United States, and while they were in the United States, Felicity realized, I hate you, and got a divorce. So the prologue is her married, and then there's a time jump 2 years later, and they're divorced. And she has a really fun meet-cute with the hockey playboy John Morgan, and things go from there. And John is possessive and protective, and yeah. He does not like her ex, but yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I gave 4 stars. There was just a few things that I was like, but I do believe it was a debut, so I could definitely see this author's writing getting better, and more books. The next book in the series, I'm really excited for. It set up a book potentially for another couple that I'm sure is going to be fire. So yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Then the final book that I finished this month was actually a buddy read with my dad, which was fun, but the book was not. And that is One by One by Ruth Ware. I ended up giving this 3 stars, and 1 whole star is because of enjoyment. Because I enjoyed the experience of reading it. I didn't necessarily enjoy the book. Like, had I read this on my own, probably would have been a 2 star. But reading it with my dad made that enjoyment a little bit higher because we talked about it. Like, we would read, so like we set it up, so like basically we listen to audio, listen to like 25% each day. And then we would discuss at the end of the day, but we ended up like not even doing that. We would like discuss just whenever we would. And we both felt it was really boring at the beginning. The middle like picked up, and then like the end was really boring, and it was very predictable. Like, I called it from the beginning. I was like, surely it can't be this person. And my dad was like, there's no way, it's gotta be. And he had these like wild theories, and then it ended up being the obvious person, and it was just like, well, that was lame. Like, what was the point? And then the end was just kind of like, really? That's how it's gonna end? Like, yeah, not great. So yeah, 3 stars. And like I said, 1 star probably is just because of the experience of reading it with my father. But yeah, those are the 9 books that I read the first half of the month. Obviously 8 of them were romances and 1 was a thriller. And I have already read some pretty good books the second half of the month. I've finished a couple already, which is good. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a computer, even though this is a typewriter, leave me a computer emoji, or if there's a stethoscope, I don't know, leave me one of those. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.